Hi, this is Greg Luitquan. I'm proud to introduce a friend of mine, Bob Spear, who's president of Kupuna Shed. And Kupuna Shed is something that I've been a member of for the last year and a half, and have looked for the last 20 years for a facility where I could practice my woodworking. And before Bob starts his presentation, I'd like to give a little bit of background. Bob is a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy and spent 30 years of his Navy career doing a variety of things, mostly on nuclear submarines. He retired as a captain, is that right? And but very little known fact is that Bob grew up in Michigan and spent a good bit of his youth working on a dairy farm. And he is very active in supporting the University of Hawaii Department of Agriculture, and is very interested in growing orchids and things like that. And he has spearheaded a number of nonprofit organizations of a variety of types. And so I'm gonna let Bob take over from here. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, Greg. Thanks for the opportunity to be here and to brief this program. Yeah, I grew up in a farm and so forth, as he mentioned, and the earth and earthly things, especially woodworking, is really part of my inherent heritage and self-being. So coming to this Kupuna Shed for me in my retirement years has been really helpful to be able to come back to do things with working with wood in particular. But in addition to that, it's been a very fruitful for me, very rewarding for me to be able to take a leadership position of a program that is kind of young and growing and so forth, and try to establish it well. So with that, I have 10 slides here to talk with and a bunch of pictures to go through. If that would be okay, I'll go ahead and start with that. So we are the Honolulu Kupuna Shed, and this is our logo.
Sorry, give me one moment. Oh, you try now.
Okay, so a little bit what we're going to do today, I'll talk about our history, mission, membership, and so forth, confidential priorities, and got 20 photos to go through at the end. So looking into history, the idea for this shed came from a Rotary magazine, way back in 2015. And it's based on an Australia program where the Australian government funds Kupuna sheds. Actually, they're men's sheds. The intent in that situation is to get men out of the house to be able to do things back in the retirement years. So the Honolulu Kupuna Shed, was the first shed in the United States, and we were originally the Hawaii men's shed. That got changed over to the Honolulu men's shed, which we are still registered as, and now we're doing business as the Honolulu Kupuna Shed. We revised the mission to include kupunas so we can include two things, women and more tied in with some of the Hawaiian communities. So we are 501c3, and we started in 2018. And we started a little shack out in Sand Island and moved to Pier 20 with the Harbors Division spare warehouse for 5 years. And then last year we moved down to Lana Lane. Technically, it's just off Cook Street, and that's where we are now. So looking to our mission, this is important for lots of aspects as is mission for everything. So companionship, well-being, purpose and retirement. Those two things, well-being and purpose and retirement, are the key foundational aspects of what we really exist for and do, and what we're our best reputation by. We do that by working on projects collectively, but with a bunch of seniors and juniors who are going to become senior sometime, working projects to donate to the community, and we'll go through some of those ideas too. So the key here is mission, and we've looked at this many times. It's really critical to our foundational existence. Okay, from membership, how big are we? Altogether, we've had 475 people register since 2018. Currently, we have 205 that are active. And last year, we lost 108 that did not re-register. That's a high turnover rate. I get that, but not everybody understands what it is that we're doing, and things change in a retirement year. the best place we can be to do our work is in the core urban area. In these high rises, which are going up all over the place, like me, I downsized from a home in Mililani and moved into a condo, and I don't have my toys anymore, especially woodworking toys. So this is the best toy shop for woodworking that you're going to ever find anywhere. Several members are also Elks, and several, I think we have 5 or 6 people who are members who are lawyers, including Greg Lily-Kwan here, who introduced me today. So it's my pleasure to say, my privilege to be able to be here to introduce this to you, the Lawyers Association. So it's a wonderful situation. There's also now a U.S. men's shed. Their objective is to try to create sheds throughout the country. And there are several hundred throughout the US at this point. So community support, this is a kind of a long list. I don't want to go all through them, but just an example of some of the things that we have excellent support from the community. Elks, Lowe's, City Mill, Hawaii Community Foundation, Harbor's Division, lots of personal donation, but all the things that are as important here is just as anything is a strong political support. Our number one supporter is our Senator Sharon Moore-Walkie, who is over our district, and our new representative Kim Koko Iamoto are very strong supporter of us, and that's foundational towards I think development in our area. So we continue to have many donations. It's amazing. We're just starting with that. We'll talk a little bit more about that, what our plans are in the future. Okay. So from a collaboration viewpoint, this is kind of, if it got into the details, it would be a long list, but many schools, many nonprofits that were collaborators, 2 churches, 2 local government programs, 7 news and PR organizations that I've been privileged to be able to present at least 10 times in the last year and a half. 3 senior centers and 3 for-profit organizations, including Lowe's and City Mill, so forth. So we have got a pretty good footprint here within these organizations. A lot of the things we make have been for these organizations, the schools, the nonprofit organizations, and some local activities with the government. Okay. So accomplishments. We since we moved to where we are now in Lana Lane at the beginning of last year, beginning of 2024, we have just been growing robustly. We're kind of exploding from the seams. Lots of good things. We have focused though a lot on safety issues, better facility, better training, better supervision, and that's key and part and parcel to be able to be good in a safe environment. We've had tripled the number of daily participants in our organization since we moved over to this new location. So that's a very, very good step. Now I have to say, we're really growing. We're almost exploding from the seams, and sometimes we're at the capacity for what a group of volunteers can lead and manage. We're open 6 days a week, basically from 10 till 5 every day, except Monday. And a little bit later on Tuesdays and Thursdays till 8 o'clock, but we try to accommodate that. And some days, there's been some days when there's been 25 or 30 people in the shop at one time. And let me say, that gets to be really busy with the woodworking equipment for safety and coordination of things. But it's been really working wonderfully. So our equipment from a woodworking viewpoint is as good as you're going to find in any kind of a public situation. But all we charge is $100 a year to participate in our program. There are other fees too if we take classes and so forth, but this is a kind of a low cost thing. And as I mentioned, we are a nonprofit, and by design, we don't make much profit. We donate things that we make. Our labor is donated. Sometimes we even donate the lumber to make things with, but there's not a high volume of cost benefit situation where we can generate a lot of funds. That's a problem for us because even our model, our mission does not allow us to be able to do that So we can't make $20,000 a month to pay rent in this urban core area. We have to figure out how to get support to be able to do that. So we have a lot of new programs coming. We'll talk a little bit more about that shortly here too. And our website's pretty good. I'll leave some cards here with Charlene and Greg to be able to pass around if there's any interest in that. So safety. We have a much better facility since we moved here. It's cleaner, is better lighting, better orientation, more safe environment. We have excellent training. Everybody who comes in gets 2 sessions of 2 hours each to learn how to use the basic woodworking equipment. And you can start at any place where you don't know much or you know a lot, but still we want everybody to know how to do it in our shop and be part of it. And then we have a supervisor on shift every day to be able to manage that and keep things safe. Those things are all lined up with the idea of a safe working environment. So some completed projects. We did 12 last year. I'll show you some pictures of those. We've got another dozen or so going this year already. Children's playhouses, picket fences at cemeteries, 20 picnic tables for Jefferson Elementary School, lots of classes, internal classes, lots of different things, making charcuterie boards, making tables, different kind of crafts, and of course, repairing bicycles. I focused mostly on the woodworking part, but the bicycle repair is also very important to our success and so forth, and a great place for seniors to kind of work together on projects to be donated to the community. Some of our bicycles are all donated, and some of the bicycles we redonate to the homeless groups and some of the low-income folks on Sand Island. But we also sell a good bunch of them, and that's one of our primary sources of revenue right now is selling repaired, upgraded bicycles. It's very important. So production and expertise. We have a program where woodworking starts from ground zero to semi-expertise in so many different ways. They have some almost professional folks to be able to make things. And you'll see some of the pictures of what I'm talking about there. We have a couple high-end machines, a CNC machine, a computer numerical control. You take a computer and plug it into a router, and you can make all kinds of little signs and everything. You can make inlays. It's really an amazing, fun thing to learn. And a fairly significant laser engraver. That laser engraver was donated to us from the Elks. So it's a pretty nice coordination we had with them. We're developing now a senior education series. We started last October and talked about wills and trusts. We talked about Medicare. We talked about generative AI. The FBI came in to talk about cyber threats to seniors. Talked about photography, and then this coming Saturday, we are going to be talking about stained glass manufacturing and programs. So it's part of the aspect of that. But a lot of these senior things, we do it once a month on the second Saturday of every month. And that happens to be along with our sizzle. Yeah, so hereby you are all invited to our sizzle on second Saturday of every month. And that includes this Saturday down at 327 Lana Lane, which is just off of Nimitz Highway. Please come and do that. So 11:30 till noon, we'll have a lunch, cookout with burgers and hot dogs and so forth. But then after that, the senior education series will be for a couple hours in the afternoon. So we're talking about things that I feel and we feel are important towards the seniors of our community. Also thinking about stained glass workshops as mentioned there, and maybe setting up a tool sharpening program. So priorities and concerns. We, as I mentioned, don't make a lot of money. So we can't afford to do what we're doing in our community without some kind of support. As a result, where we are now is also a temporary location. Our place down on Lana Lane in Kaka'ako will be destroyed with another condo putting up sometime in the not too distant future. We've been granted the privilege to stay there until the end of 2026, at which time the contractors will start to tear the place down and make another condo, high-rise condo out of that. But at some point, we'll have to go find a permanent home, and we're seeking as fast as we can, best we can, to be able how to do that. The legislature has been very supportive of that, and we're working on ideas at this point to try to find a solution to that long-time permanent facility. I feel, and we feel, and our legislators feel that this idea of having a program in the urban core area for seniors to be able to go and do things and make things to feel better later in life, and especially focusing on that last line there, the well-being and purpose in retirement by how we do this. That particular aspect is who we are. It's important what we are, and it's seen to be very important, especially with all these condos coming up in the Kaka'ako area. Oh my gosh, we have to have something for all us seniors like me to go do, and if it can produce a good purpose in retirement, that's our paycheck, that's our goal, that's our golden life. That's what we want to try to pursue. So I mentioned the capacity of our programs. Someone asked the other day, how many do we have? Well, we have 205 now. Of those, maybe 40 or 50 participate regularly. Some days it's as much as we can do. It's a kind of a broad program, and we're working through how to do that as a group of volunteers. At some point, we'll probably have to hire somebody to help out the administration some way around. We're thinking about that. That's in our strategic longer term, intermediate, longer term program, but that's where we are in our development. We're a young organization. We need to redo our bylaws. We need to develop programs to enhance opportunities for the community to be able to donate to us, but perhaps in developing an endowment program to be able to support us long term. So those are some chatters about that. And so forth. I'm going to stop right now to see if there's a way to ask any questions. What's left now is 20 slides about pictures, and I'll work through those. If there's any questions, I would entertain those at this point.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to just put it in chat. But we can open up questions first to the floor. If anyone has any questions. Not, I'll look at chat.
I think they want to see the pictures about it.
Okay. You can chat, send them in. You have questions on the way, send it in there. We'll answer them as they come up. Let me go through the pictures here. Okay. So
there, we got a question. Is there an age requirement to join?
That's a good question. Get that question. I should put that in the thing. There is no age requirement. Technically, probably 18 or someone who's cognizant enough about safety in operation and so forth. But our goal is in the near retirement or post-retirement area. That's our primary target audience. Our market segment is seniors in that regard. But we've got more juniors than we have seniors. They all need to listen, though, to me to tell them that to be a member, you can work on your own projects, but you also have to work on community projects. Some way, support the organization, maybe do cleaning once in a while, or help make some projects, some wood items or items to sell. There has to be something donated on their behalf. We allow people to make things though for themselves. And as long as it's for themselves or for their family to be given away, what we do not allow is people to come in and use our equipment to be able to make things that they'll go out and sell at the farmer's market or something like that. That is definitely, and there's been a couple challenges with that, but we've put our foot down on that. So we want to do that. We want to have ways to be able to explore ways to be able to have seniors get together to work together and interface with younger people. Our education program is intended to include seniors because many seniors well, it's for seniors, but to include juniors, because many juniors are going to be caring for seniors. And how do you deal with dementia? How do you deal with, cataract surgery? So my cataract surgeon is going to come in here in a couple of months to talk about cataracts. Healthcare issues are many times going to be associated with our senior education program. And once again, that's once a month on the second Saturday down in our building right now. And we entertain anybody coming any kind of time. I'm not sure, and maybe we could think about that. What could the bar association help to come and talk to? How can the legal, you folks, the legal organizations here, come and tell us, the seniors, about what's going on with the laws and the legal aspects? There's a great opportunity in many, many different ways to be able to have this senior education program continue. So there's a question. What data?
Yes, that's the only question that we
Okay.
have so far. Yeah.
So
Feel free to just put them in chat. We'll answer them along the way.
okay, good. Okay, next.
Oh, let me, okay, try now.
Okay, so this is, I'm just gonna go through these. There's about 20 pictures here. This is the shed. This is where we operate. This is where we're operating now. You see all the woodworking equipment on the bottom there. There's rooms outside. This used to be called Lana Lane Studios. And there used to be 15 or 20 artists in these little rooms around here. And they moved out, and we got the privilege of moving back in. Since that time, we've been exploding. You can kind of see the lighting situation. You can see all these little white pipes going around. Those are ventilation ducting. And this is kind of where the woodworking shop, the bicycle shop is over on the left-hand side of the picture going in here. So that's what we look like. This is a sizzle. And it might not be too funny to understand that seniors like to eat. And so we have the eating going on as part of our social engagement too. But this is one day when we had one of our sizzle days, and we had people eating there on some of the woodworking tables, the workbenches and so forth. Okay. Yeah, and so some guys demonstrate this eating frenzy better than others. Some of my good friends here, these are all directors of the organization at this point, and they're great people. I want to add to that with my experience here with my retirement years, the last 25 years, the several different organizations I've been with, it's really hard to find it's really hard to find a really good mission. It's really even more difficult to find people who are really dedicated to the mission. And my current board of directors now are just outstanding in terms of developing these programs. It's really, really a blessing in so many different ways. These are some of those guys. Okay, and there's some more some of our project guys. This was at the Mayor's Craft Fair last fall, and we were selling things there. Okay, so we have been participating in the Mayor's Craft Fair show in November for the last 3 years. Some bicycle shop repair folks. So we have a repair station and then a repaired section for the bicycles, and we get probably 1 or 2 queries a day. People bringing in bicycles to donate or seeking to buy what we have available. We advertise mostly on Craigslist for bicycles. And there's amazing, one of the biggest sources for our bicycles are these condos, where there are all kinds of bicycles that have been kind of abandoned. And the condo association said, we need to get these bicycles. I said, bring them on over. We'll take your bicycles. They're very good sources of our material to work with. Okay, this is an artistic piece that one of our members made. So art is developed to some degree. Some of the things that we make is pretty beautiful piece of art. This is a lamp that I made. This is a lamp that's made on a lathe. It's this Norfolk pine. It's turned real thin. It's about a 1/16 of an inch thick, and it's translucent. It's pretty nice. The base is Norfolk pine too. The little red spots up there, of course, are limbs. They kind of look like eyes looking at you, but the dark material is actually fungus that's in part of the naturally decomposing piece of wood. That's been a lot of fun. That piece was on the Made in Hawaii wood show last fall at the Blaze Hill. And here's some charcuterie boards. This is one of the projects we do. We run this class 3 or 4 times a year to teach people how to make things like this. Not specifically what the colors are or so forth, but how to manufacture something. So how you mill something, how you glue it together. Size.
So it'll reset. Just keep talking. Yeah.
Okay. So charcuterie boards. It's a great way for people to get started with understanding how to use the equipment. There's some workbenches we made for the Urban Garden Center down in Pearl City. It was one of our collaborations. We made 6 of those. And there's the pictures of the in place down at the Urban Garden Center down in Pearl City. And we got a group of folks that are once in a while make ukuleles. So this is 1 of 2 guys in the current class that's going on with making ukuleles. They have a ukulele, real professional maker of ukuleles, and he's one of our members, but he likes to run this class about once a year. And this is kind of some of the setup for making this particular one. You'll notice here, there's a very, very famous individual in this picture. The guy to the right side is just looking at.
I'm looking to see if there's a separation between the 2 pieces of faceboard that I'm gluing together for my ukulele.
So Greg is down here with our current ukulele class and been having a good time with that, along with another fellow. And the guy to the left is the instructor who has been making ukuleles for many years. I took the class 2 years ago too and successfully made one. I don't know how to play one, but I can make one. Okay, and this laser engraver that I mentioned to you, this was all made on a laser machine. It's not glued together. It's just pieced very tightly together in little segments like that. It's kind of an interesting lampshade. So as an example of what these laser engravers can do, besides engraving, it can make all kinds of little things out of it. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not very, I don't know anything about that yet. Went through the class and I haven't done it myself. But this is another example of what the CNC machine can do. It can do an inlay where the machine grinds out where this bird was in the white wood, and then takes a piece of black wood and does the same thing but inverted to it, so it fits exactly into the thing. This inlays are beautiful little things. Okay, a couple of things we've done. I mentioned we had some churches, so forth. We've made the backdrop, this koa drop backdrop here behind the cross in the situation. So that was all milled from some of the koa we made. I'll talk a little bit more about this koa situation. What a blessing. There are also in this picture 3 or 4 planter boxes that plants are in them. That was part of that particular project. That was all donated, including the wood. And this is another church project where this group of fellows are working to put together a stand to control the audio-visual situation. So we have 7 or 8 guys work a full week on putting that together. And this is kind of what it looks like when it's finished. That particular church is right downtown, right behind Alma Center. This is a project for the Pearl City High School. There's a group up there called The Haven who are developing about an acre of land into some agricultural things for small community garden things, along with some education for the high school kids. But a group of us put together this deck here. That took 3 guys about 3 weeks to make that. It was a challenge. Anyway, the guy down here on his knees there is the Vice President, Jim Maskry. And of course, we have lathes. We have 4 lathes, one of which was a big lathe that was donated to us. But these lathes are really fun. I've made things. As I mentioned, I made that lampshade on this particular lathe. And from that, we've got a number of bowls and so forth. People who love to make bowls. There's some examples of what we do with the lathes. Okay, and we made some picket fences for the Mo'ili Cemetery at their request. Here's one of our training classes in the shop down here. The guy who's speaking is Bill Chismar. He is our treasurer. And he's talking this day, I think, about generative AI. And a group of folks here are just listening to that. That's about the size of the group we have coming to our senior education program now. And this is Bill. He's also our digital guru. He knows how to arrange computers to tell these machines to do this, the laser as well as the CNC machine. And I applaud his knowledge, but he spends a lot of time teaching us several classes about how to run these machines. That's part of our education process. Okay, and last year we built a potting shed for the Waikiki Senior Center. And this is the result. All the people who are here are Senator Sharon Moore-Waukes on the right-hand side. They're part of that group. These are all members except the ladies, I think. Anyway, it took us 350 hours to make that, and this is what the shed looks like, potting shed, and that includes assembling there on site and so forth. So it's an example, or really one of the best examples, where a group of seniors can get together and work on something for quite a while and feel really good about what they do, that to donate to the community. This is one of a good example of that. These are some planter boxes we made for one of the schools. And this is a learning tree that one of our members made for Leiliha Library. You see that up there at their request. We made this, and so you can see on the seats there's a little engraved place, inlaid items there, part of that situation. So we did that at their request. Kind of fun. It took about 5 guys about 2 weeks to be able to figure out how to do that. And one of our guys here is Benton. He is working on putting the label plate on one of our picnic tables. Last year I mentioned 20 picnic tables for Jefferson Elementary School and a number of other places too on a smaller basis. But that's that. And these are some of the picnic tables that were made for that particular project. And earlier, a couple of years ago, we made a playhouse for one of the great schools, and I can't remember which one it is, but these are the things that we'd like to do with a group of folks. Well, I mentioned COA. Part of the benefit for me, I was able to participate with the Hawaii Ag Research Center COA project that has been going 25 years in Honolulu. And they're working on trying to develop different kinds of strains of COA to be more disease resistant and longer living. And I had the privilege of running a sawmill out in the woods to slab COA with these 2 individuals. The guy on the right is the research PhD for Hawaii Ag Research Center who's doing the research. The guy in the middle and I were the slabbers to be able to do that. So a lot of this COA we have in-house. Another example of some of the wood that we've milled. And one of the best resources we have in terms of lumber is we have a significant amount of COA. that we have available for sale to the public as well as for use within our membership. But we have Milo, pheasantwood, Kamani, a few other kinds of wood that are local. It's a very, very special. So we're all about woodworking, true, not all, but mostly about woodworking and bicycles. But to have the resources and material to be able to build some more beautiful things is a super opportunity. And we participate in the Kaka'ako night market. We've done that for 3 different sessions here. Every 6 months, there's a night market on Saturday from 5 to 10 p.m. And we have a display out there as part of that whole night market process. We're a member of the Kaka'ako Improvement Agency, KIA. And this is part of what they do is put on these night market events. And this is again Sharon Moriwaki, our strong supporter, and yours truly. What a delightful person. She's been very, very fun to work with. And it's also her. Sorry about the blurry picture here, but these are all legislators. They're there along with Bill and Jim to show how this CNC machine works. Another legislator, Chris Lee, came down to see what we're all about. And some of our members here to display that. The table all the way to the right with the rainbow colors was one of the tables that we put together for the Honolulu School. And snicker. Okay, my guys decided to make fun of me with this. But I want to say attitudes are positive. We can have a little fun. And that's, I guess, a good example of that. And the last slide is, again, this is me. And it's the last thing I have, subject to your questions and texts and emails. I'd love to spend as much time as necessary to be able to explain who we are. We're here in this community, in this urban core, and we play a really important role and want to continue that role for providing opportunities for the well-being and the purpose in retirement for seniors.
Do you have any contact information that you want to share with the audience?
I do. I have a number of business cards that Charlene have here to pass out if you do. Our website is on there, honolulukupunashed.org. It pops right up. I have a couple of folders here for the leadership to be able to look through with some of our newsletters and something in here, and so forth. So I'm real happy to be here. What a privilege to brief you.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, you can always feel free to reach out, Bob. You will. So pretty sure you can get your contact information distributed electronically, right? Can I see? I can probably type it in chat.
It was put in the chat.
Yeah, it's a card right here. Okay, thank you. All right.
I want to thank Bob for coming out today to share some of the good work that Kupuna Shed does. And I encourage people who have an interest in woodworking or building things for the community to become a member. It's a wonderful experience. Of course, I've been a woodworker for the last 50-something years. And like Bob, I need a place where I can go that has all the equipment so I don't have to store it in my garage. And I want to kind of highlight something that's not entirely clear. Honolulu Kupuna Shed is located in Kaka'ako, behind the old horse dealership, bounded by Keawe, Koro, Awahi, and Ala Moana. And get a hold of me if you want to become a member or have questions about joining, and I'll be happy to help. And I want to thank everybody for watching today's presentation. And I also have an announcement for our next coffee hour, which would be on September 4 at 12 noon. The topic will be elder financial scams, and the speaker will be Garrett Ho'e. And thank you very much.
All right, thank you everyone for joining in. We'll see you guys next month. Thank you, Bob, for
Thank you.
presenting today.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank
God bless you.
Good seeing you, Bob. Thanks for
Take
coming
care.
out.
Bye.
Okay.
you.